Now, we've heard a little bit from Joan already today, but let me formally introduce you to Joan Myers, OBE. Now, we're so privileged that Joan is such an integral part of our FNF family. She is a trustee and she's also an alumni, a previous leadership scholar. And Joan has so many accolades and awards. She's known mostly for her influence on community children's nursing, but also her charity work with children and young people in Kenya. She's been named as one of the top influential leaders within the HSJ Journal and also the Nursing Times. Now, what she might not realise is that she also created a craze in the recent Nurse Active campaign. Joan was the one that introduced skipping, and we definitely got on board with you, Joan. And I know that Liz was there right with you with her skipping rope, and saw the real ripple effect of Joan's influence and her networks out there in the social networking world. So I'm absolutely thrilled to introduce you to Joan. Joan Myers, OBE, who is here to speak to you guys today as our Windrush 2020 cohort. Over to you, Joan.
Thank you so much, Gemma, for introducing me. I forgot about the skipping bit, but just to let you know that I've lost nearly 3 stones since lockdown began. So I'm trying to get to the target. I'm almost there. 2 stones, 8 pounds. So I need another 4, or is it 6 pounds? But I'll get there eventually, slowly but surely. It's been absolutely amazing. I know you've all been sitting down staring at the screen, and I don't want to have death by PowerPoint, but I have got another PowerPoint presentation. I hope I'll be able to screen share. Is that okay? And let me see if I can find it. And I just want to thank Dame Yvonne and everyone in FNF. You've all been absolutely amazing. I feel really proud to be a part of Florence Nightingale Foundation. And when Dame Yvonne asked me to, I thought, wow, why me? I just feel so honoured. So everywhere I go, I just say, I'm a director and trustee of the Florence Nightingale Foundation, because it sounds so great. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. It's been absolutely brilliant today hearing all those presentations. All of you are absolutely phenomenal, amazing. You're brilliant. Do not underestimate the power and influence that you have. As Dame Yvonne was saying, that we need to be people of influence. We need to be able to negotiate change and improvement, not only for our patients. We didn't just hear for our patients, but also for our staff, for our colleagues, for our profession. And this is what keeps nursing at the top. We are the best, and we need to continue to be the best. So I thought I'd talk today about how to navigate and pivot towards it. Pivot's a new word I've learned. Everybody keeps saying pivot, so I thought I'd put it in. How to navigate and pivot towards the new horizons in 2021, because as we come to the end of 2020, with all the challenges, positive and negative, that we've been through, I thought it was really important just to give you some words of encouragement and challenge to take you forward. I always put all my letters there because I was told at school I was below O-level standard and incapable of writing an essay, and I just want to show off because it's about me. If I could do it, you can do it too. Okay, we want to embrace change for 2021. I don't know if you've heard of the VUCA world, but we're actually living in a VUCA world at the moment. It's volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. That's the world that we're living in, rapidly changing, unpredictable, unprecedented. There's so much challenges and changes that have come along in 2020 as a result of COVID-19, and then other things that's come along on the back of that. If somebody mentioned it's like the industrial revolution on speed, we've gone from 2020 to 2030, literally overnight, just like that. If you think of it, in 2019, everything was stable, predictable, certain, simple, it was linear and it was clear. But now everything is just topsy-turvy and we don't know where we're going, we don't know what's happening. It can be really challenging and scary. But I've changed the VUCA negative, this is the VUCA as it is, as we can see it, to VUCA positive. We need to have vision, we need to have understanding, we need to have clarity and agility. So the old VUCA makes everything really fragile, but this new VUCA makes everything agile. And we want to be agile. We want to be able to transition and change and improve as we see things moving along. So I mentioned volatile before, but change is violent and uncontrollable. the speed of change is really, really fast. Everything's uncertain. We don't know what's going to happen next. It's unpredictable. It's hard to prepare. There's a prospect of surprises, and everything's really complex. Everything's really chaotic and confusing and ambiguous. But I want to talk about the positive VUCA here. So the 4 steps to managing and coping in the VUCA world and to embrace and pivot and navigate towards 2021. First of all, you need to have vision. We need to have a very clear vision, and listening to those presentations today, and both Greta and Dame Yvonne speaking, you can see that we have a clear vision and goal and purpose and plan of where we want to go and what we want to do. So no matter what's happening around you, you need to have a compelling vision for yourself and for those that you're working with or working for. So it gives you clear focus, and it helps you to react quickly to change, because there's things that are changing all the time. There's a proverb in the Bible that says, "A people without a vision perish." If we don't have a vision, we're just going to all just fall away. So we need to paint a picture. No matter what's happening around you, you're only in control of what's in your hand and what you're capable of doing. So you need to paint a picture of the future that you want to achieve, and do everything you can to navigate and to get towards that destination. So always have a forward-thinking mindset, always be future-focused. Design your plans for the future and be future-focused, and decide how you will future-proof your plans. So start by taking very small steps. So having the vision, having the focus, and to not be distracted. Always anticipate and create change, and that was a great example, wasn't it? And be understanding. So the U is for understanding. Things are very uncertain. So when we have understanding, we'll be able to navigate the changes. There are unknown unknowns, but there also are things that we do know. And so we could work at what we do know and do what we are in control of doing. So we need to have understanding of where we're going, what we're doing, and how we're going to do it. And all the things that we don't understand and we don't know, just set it aside, because you can't actually do anything about it. So all the stuff that's happening at the moment, I think people are locked into their houses and they're watching things on TV and on social media that's causing people to get, I think the biggest pandemic at the moment is the mental health distress, anxiety and fear, that is just fear mongering that's going on in the media, social media particularly, with conspiracy theories, so that now we don't know what's truth and what's error. So deal with the understanding, deal with the things that you can understand. And I think this is a really good slide that talks about reason with evidence. Why do you think what you think? Just because I said it doesn't mean that it's right. You need to investigate. And one of the key things about Florence Nightingale, as Dame Yvonne mentioned as well, is about having data, having facts, having empirical evidence for the things that you believe and the things that you want to do. Make connections. How does this fit with what you already know? So when you hear something, sort of start questioning. We should have a questioning, the reason in mind. I like the way one of the speakers said that she saw something and said, but it wasn't right. And although the patient couldn't say what they were feeling because they were unconscious, she was able to look and see with her eyes what these issues are and what the evidence that the patient was in pain, although the patient couldn't say it. So she was using her reasoning, her critical reasoning skills, analytical skills to understand what was going on. I won't go through all the different points on that slide because I know we haven't got time, but we seem to have more time on our hands at home, though, to do a whole lot of stuff, but we haven't got time at the moment. Start with the result in mind and work backwards. Harmonize your skills. Use your anxiety and stress to produce energy. Use it in a positive way. And we need to have clarity from everything's really, really complex, uncertain, unexpected, but we need to have a change mindset. We need to have an adaptive mindset. We need to be crystal clear when we communicate and when we're talking, when we're sharing. Be clear in your mind what you want to say and what you want to do. And we saw that example through the presentations. All those speakers presented with such clarity that although a particular area might not be your field of expertise, you might be an adult trained nurse and not really understand about health visiting, but you were able to understand what was being said about bereavement because you could identify with it. So we could adapt to those changes. Be really clear about the different things that you're saying, what you're doing. This will give people a clear direction and it would encourage them to solve complex problems together. Keep everything simple, focus on what counts and what really matters. Focus on your patients, focus on your colleagues, really important. I said very early on in the pandemic that we're going to have a big mental health issue with post-traumatic stress disorder amongst nurses, in particular, nurses and midwives, because we're seeing more deaths than we've ever seen. We've seen sickness. With the COVID, they were used to seeing patients not getting better. Most of us are used to seeing the patients progressively getting better, or we know in advance if they're not, and we know how to deal with that. But it was just onset at the very beginning. The government on the news was putting on 10,000 people died, 2,000 people died. How many people died in Italy? They showed you all the coffins, they showed you people. So it was all very scary, but we need to refocus our minds and not allow those things to sort of take us over, because it's going to get us really anxious and worried. So what we need to do is just learn to talk. Just talk about what you're thinking and feeling, and be honest about what you're going through. I like the way the last speaker, I can't remember her name, was it Yinka? I'm not sure which one, talked about health visiting and bereavement and her fear and anxiety of going to offer bereavement support to a family. That must be something that most of us feel most of the time when we have to deal with bereaved people. But we need to adapt. We need to think about what we need to do about it and go and speak to the right people and put the right steps in place to support us through that process. I know I'm moving really quickly, but I know we've been talking for a long time and my time is nearly up. Be agile, be an agile learner, fight ambiguity, things that are uncertain, unclear, fight it with agility, be adaptive, be flexible to change. Even during uncertain times, you could be an agile learner. Encourage people to learn new skills. I learned this new skill. People have been telling me for so long, why don't you set up your own company? Why don't you set up your own business? I go, no, I don't know how to do it. Don't want to do it. I haven't got time. We make all these excuses because we're just living in our little comfort zone. But I always say, go to the zone of the unknown. Go to the zone of the unknown, which is the faith zone and not the comfort zone. Okay, we need to get out of our comfort zone. And in this time of lockdown, I said, I've been locked in. I haven't been locked down, I've been locked in. And I've been able to start up my own company, Joan Myers Consultancy, which is absolutely fantastic. Being able to support people and stuff. So we can do different things. We can do new things. So just be flexible, be adaptable, but be consistent in the way you deal with life generally. So we need to have habits and routine, as we've always done. In the midst of all the agility, we need to have something that is consistent at the same time. I know that I've really rushed through this really fast, but be resilient. Resilient people commit to their goals. They focus on what they can control. They don't blame themselves. They are empathetic. They think positively and they see challenges. And my last slide is, I had to put this slide in because at the beginning of COVID-19, all we heard was that the patient couldn't breathe, the patient was suffocating, and that COVID actually fills your lungs with all this gunky stuff that you couldn't breathe, that not even the ventilator could help them to breathe. And then we had the George Floyd incident in America. And then after George Floyd died in that horrendous, horrific and public way, people were out protesting all over the world. And one of the things they were doing, they were lying on the ground in the position that he was in. And they were saying, I can't breathe, I can't breathe. And they were chanting, I can't breathe. And I said, you can't be chanting, I can't breathe. You can breathe. And I want to say to you, as you enter 2021, you can breathe. You are alive for a reason. And so you need to be your authentic self, rise to the challenge to change. Enjoy your life, because we've only got one life to live. We need to live in the moment. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow is a mystery. Today is a gift. That is why it's called the present. So live in the present. Be ambitious. All of you here on this platform, all that I've heard, I could tell you've got ambition, you've got a desire, you've got dreams for the future, you've got vision for the future. Go for it. Take risks, rise to the challenge, have a sense of humor. If you know me, I like to joke around a lot. Even things that are really serious, I could joke about it. And I found a research on it that humor is really important because it helps us to adapt, it helps us to not get overwhelmed, and it helps to keep us resilient. And the Bible also says that laughter is a good medicine. So we need to laugh. And it's like all our muscles in our bodies is all having a little jog. And establish your unique selling point. Find something that you're really good at, which many of you have. Find what you're really good at and do it to the best of your ability. Thank you. Any questions?
Amazing. Thank you, Joan. Wow, you've brought our energy levels through the sky. Thank you so much. That was so inspiring. And I hope you'll look at the comments in the chat box there, because you have just had most amazing impact on your audience there. So wow, thank you so much.
And just one more thing, sorry I didn't say it, but I say it every time, everywhere I go. You are one of a kind, right from his mind. You are a divine design. There's no one else like you on the face of this earth. You're not just 1 in a million, you're 1 in 7.4 billion. And if you were not here, the world would not be the same without you. You are here for a reason, just for a season, not for life. But while you have life, make sure you leave a legacy for life. Have a vision, have a purpose, have a dream, and fulfill it. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Amazing.